Let's talk about 3 species of Medicago. These are all common at many of our study areas. The first one is Medicago Sativa. This is commonly found in rangelands, grasslands. It's known as alfalfa, and it's a perennial. I broke off one branch from this perennial, and it's very woody down at the base. Medicago lupulina, this is found everywhere, grasslands, rangelands, on the side of the road, parks. It has your classic banner, 2 wings and a keel flower, and then the fruits are reniform. That means that they are shaped kind of like a kidney, or subreniform means that they're leaning towards that. This plant is known as black medic, and as the fruits develop, they turn very, very dark in color, black. The last one is Medicago Polymorpha, and you see this one everywhere. It's got that coiled fruit, classic fruit. And Medicago minima looks really similar, but that one's really super hairy. So you'd see hairs all along the stem, and we don't see that here in Medicago Polymorpha. Okay, so here's 3 Medicago species. We'll key those out together. Just so you know, we're in group 3, the Papilionoideae group, and we know this because we have the classic banner, 2 wings, and a keel with our flower. So I pulled a wisteria out of the garden, and you can see that because it's just such a nice big flower. So here's the banner in the back, here's the 2 wings, and here's the keel in front. And I dissected one so you could kind of see that keel a little bit better here, and what it looks like in that group 3 Papilionoideae group. C-cell pinioideae contains the classic Parkinsonia. And as you can see, here's a Parkinsonia. It doesn't have the banner, 2 wings, and a keel. And the first group is the Mimosoideae group, and that's the classic powder puffs, where you have a bunch of stamens. Calliandra is a good example of that. Okay, so we know we're in group 3, Papilionoideae, so we can skip there because we have the banner, 2 wings, and a keel on all of our plants that we're looking at, the Medicagos. So first, we're going to go with the couplet 1 and 1 prime. 1 shrub or tree, or is it an annual, biennial, perennial, vine, or subshrub? And clearly all 3 of our plants are that. This is an annual, this Medicago lupulina is an annual, and Medicago sativa is a perennial. So all of these fit. Next, 18 and 18 prime, leaflets 0, but stipules leaflet-like, leaf axis ending in a tendril. So that's the classic Lathyrus. And here you can see how the leaf ends in a tendril. Okay, so this is a good example on the leaf axis ending as a tendril. Okay, so leaflets 2 to many, we have this. We have leaflets are in 3s, so let's look a little closer at that. So here's our leaflets, and you can see they're actually toothed at the end. You can see the teeth on our leaflets. So we have 3 leaflets here. Okay, so leaflets are 2 to many. Leaf palmately compound leaflets, generally 3 to 9. We do have 3, but we don't have a palmately compound leaf that would be like shaped like a hand. It's not like that whatsoever. So we're going to go with 19 prime. Leaflets 2, main leaf axis ending as a tendril or a bristle. So we don't have a tendril or a bristle at the end. We have 3 leaflets, so 26 prime fits. Now 27 and 27 prime, leaflets 3, fruit generally indehiscent, versus leaflets greater than 3. So we only have 3, we don't have greater than 3. Okay, so keel, petals spirally coiled, leaflet generally lobed, trailing or twining vine. None of these fit whatsoever. We don't have a vine, and we don't have a keel petal that's spiraling around. Leaflet toothed or wavy, fruit ovate or reniform, seed 1, or generally 1 seeded, and or coiled, several seeded. So we do have a fruit that is coiled, plus or minus coiled. And then we also have a leaflet that is toothed too. So this fits pretty good for us. So now we'll go to 30 and 30 prime. Corolla persistent, enclosing a fruit. Yellow, 3.5 to 5 millimeters in size. Or is our corolla deciduous, yellow or not? So in both cases, we do have yellow flowers, but the first one obviously is a purple or blue flower. So we're going to go with the 30 prime because here we've actually lost our corolla, so it's deciduous here. So that would fit best, corolla deciduous. And then one of our plants is yellow. Two of them are yellow. Both our annuals are yellow. Okay, so 31, fruit spirally coiled, generally prickly, seeds 1 to several. So in this case, that fits our first Medicago. We've got that nice spirally coiled fruit. And then here we actually, on Medicago Sativa, we have a nice spirally coiled fruit too. It's just developing, so it's not large. But what's interesting here is you have the fruit spirally coiled. That takes you to Medicago. So for Medicago Sativa, that fits that. And Medicago Polymorpha fits that. But our Medicago lupulina does not. So we would go here, fruit not spirally coiled, not prickly, seeds 1 to 2, and then fruit reniform. Ridges generally net-like, and we do have this really net-like fruit, and that brings us to Medicago too. So we find Medicago with all 3 of our species here, and I just wanted to show you that reniform fruit or subreniform fruit, and you can see too how the texture on there is just really, really cool on Medicago lupulina. Okay, so it has ridges, generally net-like for Medicago lupulina. Okay, so now we can go to our Medicago key and look closer. And for this one, since we're in Southern California, let's use the flora of Southern California because that cuts down all of our species. We have plant being a perennial, flowers blue, Medicago sativa, so that's the perennial Medicago that we have. Then plants usually annual, flowers yellow, so that brings us to our other 2 species, Medicago lupulina and Medicago polymorpha. And we go pods subreniform, 1-seeded, flowers many, and dense elongate spike-like racemes. So here is the perfect example of lupulina. We have our reniform or subreniform, which means leaning towards reniform, and reniform means looking like a kidney. So that takes us to lupulina. And then pods spirally coiled, flowers few, not in spikes. So that's the other spirally coiled fruit. So this would be a spirally coiled fruit. Versus the subreniform, looking like a kidney. So that takes us the other way. And then that's where we would get polymorpha. So a good thing to compare here is that minima is really, really hairy. That's pilos, so that means hairy, versus subglabrous or nearly so. You can't find hardly any hairs on polymorpha. So that's how you can tell the difference. And then pectinate means the stipules kind of look like combs. So we can look closer at the stipules here and see how here you can see they really look like little combs, the stipules coming off there. So that's Medicago polymorpha, Medicago lupulina, and Medicago sativa. So 3 Medicagos that are common at all of our sites. Okay, let's key out some more plants soon.